All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is Riding in the Ozarks channel, and with me is my wife, Firecracker on Two Wheels. Say hi to everybody, honey.
Hi.
And we got my good buddy, Bagger Bader, down here. So we welcome everybody to the show tonight. If you're catching this on a replay and you want to participate in the live audience, make sure you go over to Riding in the Ozarks, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to be notified anytime we're doing any kind of video, so you'll get the live notifications and you can participate in the chat with us all. And if you're here live, thanks for showing up. Give us a comment so I can see who all's out here in the audience with us tonight. Apparently nobody's in the chat.
Like
We're up to 9. Well, I did put Indian on the thumbnail, so that may have discouraged people. Lone Cowboy Adventure says, hello, y'all.
We're never doing this shit again.
Yeah. Strength of Spink. What's up, guys? There's Greg McBee. Hello, everyone from Northern Illinois. So we're getting some people in the chat. There's Lady Wagonator. All right. Wait a minute. I'm here. So thank you guys for joining us. If you didn't know, Indian Motorcycles launched their 2024 lineup today. And so we're going to talk about that. Then we may get into some other stuff, but we're going to kind of focus on that first in the video. So the people that tuned in for that don't have to listen to us just shoot the shit and, make fun of each other. If you want to do that, watch to the end. All right, man. So, real quick before we get started, we'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here. Steve, did you watch my Harley Davidson third quarter financial video?
I know I did.
Sales are down.
Sales are down.
Sales are down. Now, sales are down for Indian too. Indian did their third quarter report just before Harley, and they were down in the low teens, and Harley was down about 16% in sales global worldwide.
Makes sense. Everything's going up in price. Inflation's kicking our ass.
Well, speaking a bit price and inflation, we're going to talk about price changes on the 2024 Indians. I went through and put them all in the spreadsheet last night so I could see what kind of differences we got today. And some bikes did not increase at all, and some did. So we'll talk about that and why and what that's maybe an economy thing that's affecting it or what. Is there any brands not down? Well, I don't know if there's any that are not down, but I know like Triumph and BMW were having record years the last few years, and I have not seen any headlines on that. So I don't think anybody's doing as well this year as they were last year.
Yeah, but when you sell one bike one year and then two the next year, your numbers are going to look good. I'm just messing around.
So, Lone Cowboy says, my dealer has all kinds of bikes they wouldn't deal a couple of months ago when it was in paint and body, and now they do. Well, I know some of the dealers I've talked to and worked with are wanting to make deals. This is the first time in years I've had a dealer cold call me and want to sell me a bike, try and pitch it hard, promotions, special deals, best trade-ins you're ever going to get, all that good sales talk.
Yeah, unfortunately, I get calls every couple of months from our local dealer. They've got a guy that's, obviously hired to just phone call people all day.
Are you thinking about upgrading, Steve? Are you ready to upgrade, Steve? We can give you great financing, Steve. We'll give you top dollar for your trade-in, Steve. How did I do on the interview?
Pretty good. I usually hang up on them as soon as I hear the name of the dealership.
Firecrackers, anybody called you and tried to sell you a new bike?
Nope. I've gotten emails.
You've gotten emails?
Yeah. Not to, just offering pricing, like, financing that they got and stuff, but.
Yeah, Greg just mentioned the low interest rates to bring you in. I'm seeing those promotions are still running this month. They were running last month. I saw one for 0.01% for qualified buyers for 36 months. All right, let's get into the Indian stuff. So I don't think Firecracker probably watched any of the videos that came out today. Did you, Firecracker?
Nope, but I'm looking on Indian's website right now.
Now look at her doing research. Yay!
And yet her knowledge is so vast. I mean, I don't know how she does it.
She represents a group of the population that doesn't live and die and breathe this 24/7 like I do. You know, I want to know every time something changes, what's going on, what's the new colors, what's the price, what's the changes. She wants to be able to say, oh, that looks good. I think I like that. Let's take that for a test ride.
I hear it all while he's sleeping anyways. He talks in his sleep. So
Do I talk motorcycles in my sleep?
yeah, you do.
That's better than talking porn. All right. So the big announcement really is like a couple of special edition bikes, and the rest is all just like paint changes and stuff, which Harley gets raked over the coals for. So I'm really interested in what, if people care that Indian didn't come out with any really thing new this year or not. You know, they updated the Indian Challenger Elite, and they came out with a special FTR collaboration, which is really going to excite the U.S. market.
Well, and you said their profits are down, correct?
Well, I didn't say profits. I said sales.
Okay.
Indian's part of Polaris, and they do not report their financials specifically on Indian. They have an off-road segment, an on-road segment, and then a marine segment. And the on-road segment includes some industrial type UTVs or something that they sell somewhere. It's not strictly motorcycles, so it's really hard to pick that out, but you can get an overall feeling for it. But they did specifically say that sales were down in the low teens, but they were the number one selling bike in the midsize segment in the US for the first time ever, which is basically your Sportster kind of category, like your 900 or 1000 cc and under. So that's that basic Scout, that's that bike. And Harley doesn't really have anything to bring up against that besides like the Rev Max 975, and it's priced quite a bit higher. Lone Cowboy Adventure says, I'm listening while I'm packing my bag. Are we going someplace warm?
Hopefully he's getting on his bike.
It was awfully nice today.
Yeah, I got out for just a little bit. Very short period of time, but it was nice.
Yeah, I missed an opportunity to ride today because I had to work. Keeps getting in the way of my plans.
That's why I had to cut it short. But, you know, Indian, the fact that they didn't do a lot of changes would indicate to me financially it wasn't the time to do it. So my guess is their numbers weren't probably where they wanted them to be.
Well, you know, I would think you wouldn't put a lot of money in R&D or unnecessary new features or upgrades if sales are down. You're going to kind of keep that money tight for, you know, your standard business operating expenses that you have to cover no matter what. The Scouts, you know, starting price on a Scout is under $12,000. They still have a Scout 60 for $11,759 or $49,750. So less than 12 grand before surcharges and freight and all that. You can get into a basic Scout. It's a lower end version, lower CC version, but it still gets you on a V-twin cruiser, you know, by a major manufacturer.
Yeah.
US made too.
And it's water cooled, correct?
It is.
Kind of a nice bonus.
You can get the Scout Bobber 60 for under $11,000. But I mean, looking at the numbers here, Harley or Indian has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Scouts, and they're all under $13,500. The highest price Scout's $13,249. And I think Indian's or Harley's cheapest Rev Max motor bike, the Nightster, is like $14,500 or something. Maybe it's $13,500. I should probably check that and make sure I got my ducks in a row.
I'm sorry, what Harley bike did you just mention? Because I got them pulled up.
The Harley Nightster. That's their cheapest one.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually in the cruisers.
I think I want to say it was like $13,500 for it or $14,500.
I got right here, I think. 13.5.
13.5 for the Nightster, 14,999 for the Nightster Special, and 16.4 for the Sportster S. So every Scout they have is less than Harley's cheapest motorcycle new in the U.S. That could explain why they're number one in the mid-size segment.
You know, I'm trying to think if I've seen a Nightster or a Nightster Special. And of course, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, the Sportster S. I have seen, but I don't know if I've ever seen a Nightster Special out on the street. You know, and I live in a city of about 1.8 million people. So,
well, the Nightster Special is $1,500 more than the Nightster, and I think if you rode them both, you're either going to buy the Nightster Special or you're going to buy something else. I don't think you're going to buy the Nightster if you ride the Nightster Special because it's that much better for ergonomics and some of the other features. But if you can't afford 15 grand, then you're going to go back to looking at the Scout.
Or you go soft sales standard. It's at 14.4.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're not going to.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you, Mike, in your opinion, do you think Harley needs to take a real serious look at the their entry level, lower level bikes and what they're offering?
I think they're not interested in offering entry level bikes right now, no matter how much we would like them to. Not in the U.S.
Yeah.
I think they will in other countries like India with those in China, those X series bikes, low CCs, but I don't see it coming to the U.S. They've came right out and said the 440 and the 500 and all that stuff is not for sale in the U.S. Those are for Asian markets only. Somebody asked, do they have Indian motorcycles in East India? I believe they do, but the models they offer overseas are different as far as the availability than the U.S. There's more models available in the U.S., but like in Europe, they only offer models that have ABS because that's a requirement. So like some of these cheaper Scouts don't have ABS even as an option. So they're not even on the website when you shop for these motorcycles in the UK, let's say.
You know what else I'd like to do? I'd love to take a poll of young riders that are riding, crotch rocket style bikes, and then say, hey, you have, if you had the option, would you want to buy an Indian FTR or a Harley Davidson Sportster S? Which one would attract you more so? I wonder what their answers would be.
If they're on a crotch rocket now, I think they're going to go with the FTR.
I think so too.
It's a naked bike. It's more close to what they've been riding.
Yeah.
I think the Sportster S is destined to fail. That's my opinion. They came out with a 1250cc engine to send the Pan America, but they detuned it from horsepower to give it more torque, and people were disappointed it didn't have the same numbers as the Pan America, and it's not comfortable. It's not a cruiser, but they're selling it like it's to the cruiser market. It's this powerful cruiser is what they're trying to sell it as, this mix between a sport bike and a cruiser, and it doesn't fit either platform. It's in between, and I just don't think there's a lot of buyers that want something that's a hybrid of that. I think they want one or the other.
I want to give you kudos too, because a couple weeks ago you mentioned that Saddleman had turned a Pan American into a hooligan bike. So as soon as we got off the air, I went and looked at it, and I'm like, holy Christ, that thing's badass. And I've showed that to a number of friends that ride, and they all agree. They're like, wow, that is badass. That could be a bike that they bring out.
People wanted the Bronx, and they didn't come out with it. And this is kind of similar in design. Not to steer away from the Indian conversation. That's, but that's the thing. Indians got the FTR, and it is based on that flat tracker design of the FTR 750 in the dirt races. and it is not a cruiser. It's not. They're not trying to tow the fence and be on both sides. They're picking a side and being there with that bike, and it either fits you or it doesn't.
Yeah, it's for performance. You want to.
Oh, it's hella fun. I rode one. I rode a friend, so I got to ride it like, the dealer would not approve of, popping wheelies and hammering it down in the corner and stuff. So I got a friend who owns a Street Bob. He owns an FTR. He would probably like to own a Road Glide, if it worked out. He's got some dirt bikes. He's got a Sportster with a 1275 Hammer kit on it. He's an enthusiast for motorcycles. And the FTR he bought for a specific purpose. And he would really like to have had the Bronx if they'd have brought it.
I'd like to see him ride the Sportster S and see what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, Firecracker, you've been digging away on the website. What do you got to contribute to this podcast? Which Indian do you think looks the best in the 2024 models? I don't think your light's on. You're all shadowy. Can you turn your light on so we can all see your
light
beautiful face?
My light is on. It is
your
on.
Ring light. I didn't turn your ring light on.
See my face.
Oh, looky there.
That's why we don't have everybody watching.
Now the views are going to go up.
I'm going to be honest with you. Of course, I'm going to go for paint and all that. And I really like the Elite Indian Challenger, the black and red.
Yep.
Yeah. That's their new $38,500 motorcycle.
Yeah.
But I think I feel like the FTR would be a fun bike to ride. Just to try, because I've never rode something like that.
Well, Scott will let you ride his.
I'm just thinking go do the demo rides and ride one.
Yeah, but Scott lets you pull wheelies on his.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be pulling wheelies anyways.
Now, you rode the Scout before we bought the Sport Glide, and you really did like it. I mean,
yeah.
Do you think
until
Indian's
I rode
got
the
any
Sport Glide?
Yeah, but do you think Harley's got anything under the $14,000 mark that you would rather have than a Scout?
I'm kind of looking here.
Yeah, you do your research, and we'll circle back around to that question.
I mean, everything that I like is a lot higher than that. I've never, really looked into the Nightster or anything, just because I just don't like the way it looks personally. And I'm a female, so I do go for looks, not only performance. So I would say Harley does not have anything under that price range that I would go for.
So $14,000, $15,000 was your budget. I guess you'd be shopping Indian. Is that fair to say?
Or a used bike.
Used bike. And there we have it. That is the entry-level Harley Davidson. Is a used Harley Davidson.
I'm going to tell you my biggest thing with the Indian, I think it's ugly the way it looks like the engine is it looks like it's all encased, and Harley's doesn't look like that to me. I don't like the way the engine and stuff looks on them. I think that's ugly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Indian needs to design a prettier motor. We'll put that in the feedbacks and comments for them.
So I'm looking at the Scout. The base Scout is basically $11,000, and the Sawtail Standard or the Nightster is $13,500 and $14,400.
Now you got to remember, all the stuff that's around $11,000 is the 60, which is a 60 cubic inch displacement. So that's a smaller engine.
All right. As I say, because they're not competing against that bike. That's a good looking bike. I mean, it's okay looking.
Yeah. So a 60 cubic inch, though, is like a 983. That's like displacement wise with the 975.
Yeah. Okay.
Shit, you can go with the Scout Bobber for $10,000 instead of $11,000.
Go ahead, sell some more motorcycles for them. Scout Bobber 60 for less than 11 grand.
Yep.
Basically almost $3,000 cheaper than the cheapest Harley Davidson.
And actually, I think it looks better because I don't like the way the fender looks on the Scout 60. I don't like there's as big as it is with that type of seat. I think the Bobber looks better.
She likes the Scout Bobber 60 better than the full Scout.
I think there'd be a number of people that would agree with that. I think that Bobber's pretty cool. And we want Indian to be successful.
Yeah,
I think it's driven Harley a ton since they've jumped back in.
You know, and Zen here said the Breakout is a modern Harley that is pretty cool. It is. It's just not, again, an affordable model for entry level. It's a $21,000 before surcharges and freight and stuff. So you're in the 20 grand mark. And I loved the Breakout. I rode it. It was a great riding bike. I did a demo ride on it. So don't take that the wrong way.
Right.
But, you know, if you go back over to the Indian line and you start looking at 21 grand, you can get anything they have for that or less until you get up to the Super Chief Limited, and it's $21,999. Then the Springfields and the Chieftains go higher. But
if I wanted to buy a Softail right now, go down to the dealership and buy one, it would be between a Breakout and a Lowrider ST.
Yeah. Now you think about this. The Chieftain starts out at $24,000. Okay. And the Breakout's 21. So for $3,000 more, you could have a bagger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the other side of the coins. You're starting to, the Breakout is starting to press bagger prices. Lowrider ST starting to press bagger prices on the Indian line.
True.
And I still think Harley's a better motorcycle personally. I prefer it. You know, some people will say, I've had people argue and say Indians are made from better components and all this and that. And I don't really buy that. I haven't seen anything that has proven that to me, but it's all proof in the pudding, I guess. And it's all really matters what you are happy with when you buy it. So we got Salty Badger and XAN Biker in the house as well. They've joined us. 03 Road King said, what's up? So we got a few people coming in here in the chat. We appreciate everybody joining us. So do you think this lineup with them not raising the prices on the FTRs and the Scouts? I mean, basically, they didn't raise the price on anything that's under 15 grand.
And you're saying that those bikes are selling. Those are the number, or they've outsold, right? They had the best numbers they've ever had.
Indian said in their press release that for the first time they've led in the mid-size seg market in the U.S. And they don't define exactly what the mid-size segment is and what exact models that are. But being these are the smallest CC Indians they sell, I'm sure these are the bikes. And mid-size is usually somewhere around 900 to 1,000 cc's, depending on who you ask.
So it's kind of like a value meal. Instead of raising the price, they're keeping it where it's at, and then they're hoping to continue to sell
gain market share
number and get their profit maybe that way.
I think the Scout, for example, somebody said it's been 5 years since they did any updates. They were hoping they got updates this year. I think that was a comment Bearded Bobber made in his video.
Yeah,
I watched his video today, and you know, he did a good job. I appreciate him putting the video out and informing everybody. So, in his comment that they need to come out. Sorry,
I was going to say he was hoping that they'd come out with a little bit more power, didn't he?
Right, he was hoping they'd do some kind of upgrades to the Scouts. Yeah. So it was time. Maybe Indian fans feel that way. And if I got any Indian fans like Lady Wagonator in here, she might have an opinion on that. She rides an Indian. But if you look at it from their perspective, they just took number one in that market segment with that bike without doing any upgrades. And the economy is down. Does it make sense financially for them to spend money on R&D or a new power plant or something else when they are continuing to gain ground in that market share, that segment, with the bike just the way it is right now?
Apparently not, because they didn't make any changes as far as we know, right?
Right. And Harley's going to get the same gripe. They're going to drop a 117 in something that, like the Street Bob, that didn't have a 117, and they're going to make a big deal of it. We're going to say, oh, really? They just grabbed a different motor off the shelf and stuck it in there. That's not a big deal. Because there'll be people that'll say that. But these things are iterative. And then every 8 or 10 years, you get something bigger like the CVOs.
You know, I was kind of hard on the Street Bob 2 weeks ago, and I still don't. It just doesn't do anything for me. But I have to admit, I want to say, was it Advan Black? You know, they came out with the new
ST fairings.
ST fairing.
You can put one on Sport Glide too.
I have to admit, it looked pretty fucking cool.
What do you think? A purple Sport Glide with an ST fairing?
I'm thinking so.
I don't think she really cares for the ST fairing. We're talking about you.
I know you're talking about me.
You're just ignoring us.
I don't want to pay more money for
She likes the little fairing that's on there.
I mean, like when we were at Sturgis and we were talking about the one, I liked it. I liked how the speakers, from Clockworks, that we were going to, think about getting, but I can't see paying $2,000 for something. I can't afford that right now anyways. I got other things to worry about. But if I had just the money to throw away, then I would probably buy one, have our friend paint it, and put the speakers in there like that, because I do like it. But
so if Alan was watching this stream, he wanted you to do a video of putting a fairing on your custom painted Sport Glide and painting it to match, and he donated the fairing. Would you consider it then? Because the ST fairing from Advan Black is actually only $800.
Oh, well, I don't know that I've looked at that. It doesn't have the ability to have the speakers.
You can put the Rockford Fosgate audio system that comes with the as an option for the STs in this fairing, as I understand it.
Okay.
But
maybe when I'm rich, nobody's going to want to give me something free to make a video on, because I don't do enough on my channel to be big enough for anybody to want to give me anything. Mine's there just for when I feel like I want to do something, make a video, I make it. And
you kind of led me to believe that maybe the next jump up for you is a Street Glide.
Oh, or a Road Glide, because I seen 2 Road Glides that I absolutely loved. One was purple and white, and one was black and purple at Pig Trail. I seen both of them.
The reason she loved them is because they were purple, not because they were Road Glides.
Oh, yeah.
So a purple Street Glide, and she could probably be swayed the other way. So Lady Wagonaire said, I do wish they would have more power. And there were more options for upgrades.
In April, I believe in 2017, there was a Street Glide and Road Glide that were purple.
Yes, there was a white and purple with black outlining the flames. Yes. But I didn't like that as much as these 2 I had just recently seen. But I have talked, but I'm still paying on the bike I've got now. So it's going to be a while to but I told Mike that maybe this year I might do a test ride on a Street Glide to see if I like it.
Yeah.
So we got a comment here. Didn't Harley come out and say they wanted to concentrate on more expensive bikes? And what Harley said they wanted to do was concentrate on products that were more profitable and more in demand. So basically, they're better selling bikes that were profitable. That's why they quit focusing on the Sportster and got rid of it, because there was no profit in it. No matter, it doesn't matter how many you sell if you don't make no money off of them. And for Sparky, yes, too. we're glad you got a notification. I can't tell you why YouTube hasn't notified you before this. It's not like I haven't done a video. I'm over 500 now and 3.5 million views. So I don't know.
Well, we're glad you're here, Sparky.
That's right. So do you think Indian did the right thing, keeping the prices the same on the more affordable bikes in this economy?
I do.
Kind of think that people that have money, right? I think people that have money probably aren't going to balk that the bike went up $1,000. I mean, if they can afford a $35,000 bike, they can probably afford a $36,000 bike. But the guy that can, has to pick a $15,000 bike or less, and he can either choose a new Indian or a used Harley, is a better proposition for Indian to try and sway over to Indian. I mean, the reality is the majority of riders are riding Harley Davidsons. There's a bigger market share there. So they're trying to dig into that and pull them over. So I think keeping that price tight where it's at on those more affordable models is a good move.
Yeah. Let's say you were on the fence and you're like, God, I kind of want to buy a bike. And then, the new ones come out and you see it, they're the same price. That's a hell of an incentive.
Yeah. Indian didn't raise the price this year.
Yeah. Holy shit. I better jump on this thing. I mean, I can get it for the same price as last year's model.
Hi, Chase.
So question for you is, what Harley Davidson would you compare the Chief to?
Okay. I'll get right to that first. We've got cornbread and Pebbles in the house. Can't believe we started without you. I'm sorry. We waited an extra 60 seconds. I was a little bit late, but gotta go. And we didn't make it to Lone Star, but I'm glad that if you went, you were not one of the 5 people that got shot.
Yeah. I heard
that's a shame, and prayers for everybody's family that might have been affected by that.
Yeah, I heard it sounds like no one's going to perish over this. One guy was in pretty bad shape, I guess. One guy refused treatment. So he must have just, had a flesh wound or something like that. But never like to see that, man. And, it sounds like it's a non-biker.
Local gangbang stuff.
Yeah, a guy that shouldn't have been there.
All right. So Chase says, I don't think, comparing quality, anyone who doesn't just need a new bike would pick an Indian over an HD. So I think he's saying most people would still pick a Harley over an Indian if they just don't need it to absolutely have a new bike.
And we talked about this earlier today about who's an Indian buyer.
Well, here's one right here in the comments. That's why I bought my 2022 Indian Scout Bobber back in May. It was cheaper than an HD Fat Bob I was checking out. Of course, JS is late, so we're going to have to ask him to stand in the corner and time out for being late.
Let's start over.
Dinner. He's going to sit there while his dinner gets cold and stand in the corner. Lady Wagner said, my Chief Vintage is comparable to a Road King. Now, April, you said which one was comparable to what?
I said, what Harley would you compare to just a Chief?
I'm going to say Lowrider S.
All right. I would say Street Bob. The Chief is kind of bare, no fairing. 111 cubic inches. Street Bob's 114. 650 pounds. Kind of bare bones, single seat. Not set up for passengers, small fenders. I would say the Chief compares to a Street Bob.
Okay, I'm looking at a Chief that's actually 2 up, and it does have a small fairing on it.
You're probably looking at the Super Chief.
You're looking at this. You're looking at the Sport Chief.
Oh,
yeah, you're looking in the Super Chief family.
It says just Chief.
No, he's in the Chief family. There's a Chief Dark Horse. There's a Sport Chief, a Chief Bobber, and a Chief Bobber Dark Horse.
Yeah, but they're all single seaters. He said it was 2 up. If it's 2 up, it's got to be the Super Chief family.
The Sport Chief has, it looks like a little back seat on
Well,
Oh.
okay, if she weighs 47 pounds, she'll fit back there.
it. It'd be like a girl sitting on the fender.
Yeah, a fender bunny.
Yep.
Okay, so you saying the Chief, you think?
I would say the
would
Sport
be-
Chief is more like the Lowrider S with the fairing and the 2-up seat kind of style. I'd say the Chief is like the Street Bob, personally. That's where I would go with it.
Okay.
It's interesting.
So
I
the
don't,
Chief's $14.99, and the
here we go.
Street Bob is $16,599.
Okay, I found a better page to look at.
I'm doing the page where it has them all on there, and you scroll up and down.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at now. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the Scout Rogue.
So Chase here, who's not a Harley guy, by the way, says depends on budget and preference, but Indian has a way to go on fit and finish. Chase is riding a BMW R18, by the way. I'm pulling on him.
Okay. He likes those side.
Lowrider S is comparable to the Indian Sport Chief. No. Yeah, Lowrider S, I would say, is comparable to that. That's what I just thought. Fairing, quarter fairing kind of thing. The Super Chief family to me is like the Heritage. 2-up, bags, windshield, Road King Heritage kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a Heritage.
I'm just kind of comparing what you think and what the price difference is. And it looks like a lot of these, it's the price difference from a Harley from an Indian to a Harley, like a comparable bike, is around $2,000 to $3,000.
I would say 1,500 to 2,500 on average. Like the Chief is 1,500 less than the Street Bob. Okay.
Right.
The Lowrider ST is 22.2. The Lowrider S is 18.2. And that Sport Chief is actually 19,999. It's higher than a Lowrider S. Yeah. It's in between the Lowrider S and the Lowrider ST.
Okay. So the Indian Springfield Dark Horse, would you compare that to a Harley Davidson? God dang it, I can't think of it. Like
It's a Road King.
Harley
Yes.
Road King. Yes, Road King.
That's a Road King.
Yeah, Road King Special.
Okay. I'm just seeing what you guys would compare to.
Yeah, no, that's keep firing
Well, that's
away.
good. You're learning something too. Like she's actually taking an interest in what they got and what they look like.
Hey,
Even
the
though
it's
mother
not
should be
purple.
on her show.
You might regret that.
Nah. 2-up should be a Chieftain model. There's also a Super Chief 2-up.
Who was the guy
Chieftain,
that?
the Chieftain's more the kind of street glide look-alike.
Yeah, Sparky was the one that bought the Scout Bobber. Hey,
Right,
Sparky, would you say were you enticed by the Indian as well because it's different? That way, you're different than the most of the guys in the pack. Was that
My dad,
influential in your
and it's
decision?
not a knock on anybody for wanting to be different.
No.
My dad bought an Excelsior Henderson when he lived in Wisconsin because everybody rode Harleys and he wanted to be different. Even though he had a Harley Springer that is different, it's a very limited model and year. But up there, he was like, I just didn't want another freaking Harley that you couldn't tell my bike from any other bike in the parking lot. So he bought a freaking beast of a Henderson Excelsior.
Yep.
Chase says BMW and HD are similar in quality. Indian didn't do it for me. I rode the R18 and I liked it better than the Indian Challenger or the Pursuit. Just saying. When you see these riders in packs, I've heard they're raising money for charities. Is this the case all the time? Well, Zen, I wouldn't say all the time. We see people ride in packs, and we ride in packs some. I mean, I guess it depends on how big a pack. For us, 15, 20 people could just be a group of us. We're not necessarily doing a charity thing. But then last weekend, we just did a ride with 200 plus motorcycles in a pack. And that was a toy run that raised money for children. So usually like really big packs are for some kind of cause, whether it's a funeral escort or paying respects or a charity or something like that.
Yep.
So Yaz says, agreed, April, HD Road King. And Spark S says yes. I'm not sure what that is. Say yes too, but yeah again. And the Badger stopped by to say, Day, hey. Hey, Day.
Lord.
When I was looking at Indian at motorcycles, I never looked at Indian motorcycles. Just something about them never tripped my trigger. And that's okay. I looked at a lot of stuff just because I want to have an open mind when I talk about stuff. I don't want people to think I'm blind to anything but Harley. I genuinely like Harley better, but I've tried to be open-minded. People think I don't do anything but ride Harleys, but you can ask April. I've rode everything Indian has on the lot in demo rides in the last 4 years. I've rode the BMW. I want to ride the Triumphs, but they're a little hard to find around here to ride. I rode Suzukis and Hondas and everything else too.
Yep. I'm at that age where, as a kid, you walk, you go to your buddy's house and you go in the garage and you're like, what's that? And, oh, that's my dad's Harley, man. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't breathe on it.
So somebody finally asked.
Yeah.
Fire, you just brought up a sore subject.
Where do they live?
For everybody who thinks I shaved because of just got married and my wife wanted me to, no, she was not happy about this. I'll get this over and out of the way real quick, just so we don't get a bunch of comments on it. I shaved about 8 days ago. I have a job interview for a promotion tomorrow, and I was kind of
shaved on Halloween. You shaved on Halloween.
Was 8 days ago. Yeah, it was 8 days ago.
Okay, guess it was
before No Shave November. But I have an interview for what could be a promotion, could be good for us financially, and something that I would enjoy. I hope so. Partially because of that, and partially I was just kind of ready for a change. I've talked about cutting it for a while, and she didn't want me to, but money talks and bullshit walks. So if it's it'd be a considerable pay increase. So I decided I was going to cut it before the interview because I'm interviewing with people that don't know me, and unfortunately, people do judge a book by its cover, especially in my industry.
Yep, corporate America.
I'm not really
more
public sector, but it's still very much similar to a lot of corporate type jobs and structure. It's a big organization.
Yeah.
The Badgers said they can't get over the BM engine, sticks out too far for me.
I struggle with that too. I do. It just
Lady says, I think the Indian fits people with shorter inseams. Not sure if it's designed for shorter people. Indian Scout Bobber is 1100 cc's, water cooled with 100 horsepower. Indian Scout Bobber 60 is a smaller displacement with about 80 horsepower. Yep. Yeah. Thank you for, like I said, I'm not an expert. I have to look it up on Indian, but I know the 60 is the smaller one. The other one's bigger, all the things that go along with that. I look at so many bikes, it's hard to keep track exactly which one's which. I mean, even with the CVO versus the 117, I had to look the specs up to make sure I had them right the other day for somebody that asked. Jay said those BMW Jegs, they saved his dad's leg once in an accident. Twice, actually. Sorry.
Okay.
So I rode them, and if you ride a street glide and you leave your feet on the floorboards, it's not a lot of difference. Maybe a little difference, but it wasn't huge, at least for me. I'm not particularly long-legged, though, like a 32 inseam, and I could live with it. And they make a way to kick your feet out. It just kind of looks like you're in a gynecologist chair when you do it.
Right.
So what bike BMW is Chase riding?
I believe Chase is riding an R18. I don't know which variant, but if you go to BMW,
I'm looking. I'm already on there. I'm looking.
so look at BMW Motor Ads R18B. That's the one I test rode.
Yeah,
and
that looks
that's
like a straight glide.
Yeah. Yeah, he's riding a bagger.
But I think if you strip the R18 down, I think it looks similar to my Slim.
With the fact that the
R18B
motor
is what
sticks
you
out
said.
sideways.
Except for that small factor.
Yeah.
And the R18 Rocktain looks like the like Charlie Dow's bike. So, but they don't have one that looks like a road glide.
Nobody has one that looks like a road glide, really.
But
Besides the Indian Challenger.
Yeah.
what is this urban mobility from BMW?
Means you're flexible, I think. Means you
CE, it's a CE04.
That is that little electric scooter. That's why it's called urban mobility, because it's only good for around town. It's an electric scooter, basically. They, I think, classify it like a motorcycle, but it's designed to look like a scooter. Is that not what it looks like, honey?
It looks more. It looks like a jet ski or something.
Doesn't look like it's quite catching your fancy.
It's just weird looking.
You want one to ride to work?
No, I'd never seen it.
I'm going over there. So the CE04 is the first model I ever saw. I haven't seen the CEO2 or the C400
It looks
GT.
like a little bicycle.
Yeah. But I think these are all the CEO4 and the CEO2 are electric. The C400 is probably a gas powered scooter. Electric
Okay, I was
moped
just
that's
asking.
fast. Sparky says, I'm 5'6" at 175 muscular build, handled my 400-pound cruiser better than my street glide, but still love my workhorse Road King. I toss my Road King around like a scout bobber.
Road King's great bike. Handles.
Road King was a great bike.
Yeah.
Oh, Road King Special still exists. I just stuck a little dagger in JS's heart when I said that.
Yes, you did.
We had talked the other night on the phone about the Road King. So any other questions about the 2024 Indians? Just to make sure before we move off or talk about something else, people don't feel like we didn't really discuss it or, anything else that they wanted to know. Not that I know everything, but I'll be happy to give you my opinion on it. I don't know everything. I'm just got an opinion on everything. Steve, if you couldn't buy a Harley Davidson tomorrow, what Indian would you buy?
No. I probably a Challenger.
That's because you're already a shark nose guy. It's not that far off.
Experience.
Firecracker, if Indian Motorcycles called you up and said, we want to make you an Indian ambassador and we're going to give you one Indian motorcycle to ride for a year, free of charge, pick one, which one would you pick?
I'm going to be honest. I'd probably want to go ride a couple before I decided. But I really kind of like that Indian Challenger Elite.
Well, hey, let me ask you. On my page, the Indian Challenger Dark Horse looks purple. Is it purple?
No, it's
a bluish.
It's a blue.
Okay.
And it's kind of like that. What is that paint job like Nick's got on his bike, I think.
Oh, kind of a
The
matte.
dull,
blue.
yeah,
The
like
matte.
a matte. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
All right.
I couldn't.
I want everybody to throw in the chat what Indian motorcycle they would pick if they were given one to ride for a year and demo and try out, and it can't be an elite.
And I think they should
it can't be the most expensive, prettiest thing they have. A standard model.
I think they
That's
should
why
have a cruiser and a bagger.
That's why I said I would want to. They couldn't just call me up. They would have to give me a chance to go and ride a couple of them to see, because I rode the Scout, yes, but I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I wouldn't want to go up. I rode I rode one of the other ones too. The Chief.
You rode one of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't think you rode the Sport Chief, but I think you rode a Chief.
I don't know that I really was that in love with it or liked it. So yeah, I definitely have to go ride and see.
So Paul says he would get the Scout. While people are putting their comments in here, I'm going to address this. Badger said the Indian did a horrible job of hyping their 2024 release. And I think it's because they don't really want people talking about it, because they really didn't do a lot. There's not a lot to talk about, so they didn't make a big deal of it. But you're right. The only reason I knew is I got an email a couple of days ago with the date on it and said 2024 lineup. And you really had to pay attention, because they were more teasing this whole FTR 100% partnership thing than they were anything else. But the headline said 2024 lineup. So I was like, okay, let's pay attention. Let's not throw this in the junk box just yet.
Something tells me they're going to be keeping a real close eye on what Harley brings out in 24, and then that'll determine if they
do something else.
Yeah, get crazy on R&D for 2025.
Our buddy Jamie said Challenger. Our buddy JS said Springfield Dark Horse. I can't imagine why, because he rides a Road King. Jay said Sport Chief, assuming I still have my big touring bike. Yeah, I'm not making you give up your existing bike. I'm just saying, if they offered you one, which one would you pick? If you could pick any one they had, there wasn't an elite. Salty said, I rode an Indian once. Thank God I could run faster than her dad. He was going to scout me. Lady Wagonator, Wagonator's Wacky Crusade says Roadmaster. That's not Lady Wagonator, so that must be Jerry. Sparkus said, I'd like to ride the Indian Pursuit. It's similar to Road Glide. The Pursuit is like the Road Glide Limited. It's just got a trunk on the back. Now, the Pursuit I rode, I was excited when it first came out because of the suspension. Suspension was really good, but that was the only thing that I felt was really good, was the suspension. Everything else was just mediocre again. Cornbread says Chieftain Dark Horse. Cornbread and Pebbles. Funny, that is where Harley rules. They can change point and make a huge deal about it. Yeah, and I think there's going to be some roll down of some sort from the CVOs. So I think they have something to make a big deal out of this year. I think they have to bring at least some features. If they don't bring any of the CVO features to a touring model, it's going to be bitching and moaning and groaning from everybody.
Yeah, I think so too.
Chiefs and Scouts have poor suspension design. I'd have to go with the Springfield 116. Remember, Indian is a Polaris product. Very much so. I mean, it's Indian in name only, and it's no offense to anybody. I'm not trying to knock on anybody. My dad owns a Polaris four-wheeler and a Polaris Ranger, and they're great products, but they're off-road products. Me and Steve were talking about this earlier. For those that don't know, Polaris didn't make motorcycles until 26 years ago. 1997 was their first endeavor with Victory, which they killed off in what was it, 2017, something like that. Yes. They did about 20 years. And in 2013 is when they started the Indians. And about 3 years after they started the Indian, they killed the Victories.
I'm still a little surprised they didn't keep some of the design of those Victories. There were some people that really loved that design.
Now, I'm surprised by this answer here. I'm guessing this is Sunny and not Angie because she said Challenger for me. But I mean, they ride fat boys and cruisers. They don't ride touring bikes most of the time. So him picking a Challenger is kind of interesting. I thought maybe he might be more of a Super Chief guy.
I keep waiting to see one of their videos, and all of a sudden they're on a tour bike. I'm waiting.
Lady Wagonaire says a dark horse, but which one? Which dark horse? There's more than one.
True.
Springfield, a Chief Bobber dark horse. What dark horse are you talking? Indian Scout Bobber has horrible suspension, but hey, it's a Bobber. And there's a few aftermarket solutions for that to help with that. But yeah, they don't have a lot of options there. Chase 106G says he'd go with the FTR. Salty is waiting for Indian to drop an FTR snow bike. I think all you gotta do is put studded tires on it and go. Polaris made snowmobiles long ago.
Oh yeah.
Chase said haters gonna hate, but I love Division. Road Reality says good evening all. Sparky's Polaris does make great ATVs. We use them often for work purposes. Lady says Springfield. So a Springfield dark horse would be her pick.
Okay.
Jay was going to buy a Victory, but then they killed it, so he bought a Wide Glide. Drove him straight into the Harley family. The whole point of CVO is features that the regular models don't have. They failed with that till the change up to this year. They failed with that the past couple of years till the change up this year. And I think the 121 BVT model engine may stay CVO only. Maybe that huge display will stay CVO only. But I kind of feel like they got to bring the fairing changes, the body changes down. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they could bring the body changes down, have it maybe a smaller version of that display that's not quite so premium, and they could leave it at 117, and that would still make people happy. If inverted front suspension, though, I mean, you got to bring the suspension and the body changes. You could leave the motor. You could, the CVO cut weight with the triple trees and some of those things. I think those probably have to come because that's part of that body design.
Harley might have waited on the new fairings to bring them down to just see how consumers were going to react to such a dramatic change. And I know initially a lot of people didn't like it, and now I
hate it. First time I saw it, I said, "Why are they trying to turn the Street Glide into a Chieftain?" After 3 or 4 months, it grows on you. You look at them side by side, and you say, "Well, they're not really the same thing. They're similar, but they're." Not the same. And I think that's the point is you get used to it. It's change. Change is hard to accept at first. And then you see it and you see it and you see it and it grows on you. And that's why putting the CVO change out first gives people to get acclimated to the change before they bring it to the more popular models that people can afford.
Yeah. In my opinion, back when the Chieftain first came out, that fairing was ugly as hell. It just wasn't attractive at all. I think the new one is a lot better than the original one they came out with. But I like the Street Glide fairing better than the Chieftain.
I do too, and I like the new Chieftain. I like the new Street Glide better than the Chieftain. I like the new Street Glide better than the Road Glide. And for those that don't know, I never rode a shark nose till August of this year at Sturgis because I wasn't going to tell Harley Davidson that I wouldn't ride their $48,000 Road Glide because I don't like a shark nose. When they offered to let me ride both CVOs, I said yes. I wasn't going to be so bullheaded about that. I refused to ride it. So I rode the Street Glide first, and then I rode the Road Glide. And after riding them, I still like the Street Glide better. But I dislike the Road Glide less.
Yeah.
So
did it take you a while to get acclimated to the fixed fairing? But some people say, "Oh, it took me a while to get used
probably
to that."
Would more if we were doing parking lot stuff. But we did a 50-mile hike through the Black Hills where you're doing turns and you're leaning, you're not turning. other
Yeah.
than the parking lot to get out. So it didn't really bother me on that ride. And I think I would get used to it. I just don't like it. The first time I rode the Lowrider ST, I didn't like it for the same reason. It's fixed fairing. I didn't like that aspect of it. Well, we got to say goodnight to the Badgers there. It looks like they're out of here, but thanks for stopping in, guys.
Yeah, they're in Florida. It's getting late. I get it.
They're old.
And they're old.
Yeah.
Damn, they're old. Pretty sure.
Just picking on them. Thank you guys for stopping in, though. I've spoken to 2 challenge owners in the last month that had a blown head gasket. Probably just a coincidence. Sure, that's a coincidence. 2 in 1 month is a coincidence.
In reality, we're
let's
talking
see.
about having a Vaquero, and I am a fan of the Vaquero. I've never ridden one, but I like the looks of it.
I like the straight glide fairing better. I like being able to touch the display easier than with the Road Glide. Yeah, Badger said, yes, we are old and tired. So, good sports. I hope they had a good time on the cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you. Hey,
every day.
Sonny and Angie, we'll see you in March. They can show us around. They're closer to their hometown. We're going to be in Florida in March. If you all don't know, we're going to be doing the Daytona Bike Week for the first time ever, and I guess we could tell there's. I mean, I don't think there's any NDA about it and stuff, but we're not taking our own bikes. We are going to be at the mercy of Harley Davidson and ride whatever they make available for us.
Ooh. April.
So we're going to fly in and they're going to let us ride something. And I hope whatever it is, they're all 2024 models. So like 1st of March, we could be spending a week riding different 2024 models that they just released. So that would be really cool.
And Mike, do you know when Harley's going to release their 24s?
Haven't seen the official date yet, but the Badger said it was a blast. We'll be at Bike Week. We'll see you then. Sparky
Yeah,
says you're
hopefully-
on.
Hopefully not next year, but the year after I can get Mike to go on that cruise. Because I've always wanted to go on a cruise. And he finally told me that if he went on a cruise, that would be the cruise he'd go on.
the High
Otherwise,
Seas
me and the
Rally.
girls. Otherwise, me and the girls are going to have to go on a cruise without him.
The girls.
We've seen the Red Bull dirt bike
girls?
riding on the ocean. The girls would be like a girls bunch of us from the riding group that we are in. I mean, when I say riding group, I should specify this isn't like a formal organization. We just have a group on Facebook chat called the Riding Group, and it's all our friends that we ride with in the central part of the Ozarks. And yeah, we just put people in there, and then when we're all doing a ride, we put a chat out or whatever. And when somebody's becomes a grandma, and they post pictures of the baby in there and all kinds of stuff. But that's our riding group. It's our close-knit friends that we ride with. Chase, fuck you. Chase said we're going to ride live wires.
That's pretty damn funny. You love
Chase
those
said, I'll
live
take a live wire. I think they're going to put us on Del Mars. Not even live wires. The new electric motorcycle with less range and more affordable. Firecrackers like, shut up. Sparky says, I'm in Fort Lauderdale and Daytona is only a 4-hour ride. I'd like to come up and see you in March. Well, we will be there. We're planning on flying in on Saturday morning. We don't have our flights yet, but that's our plan. So we don't have a room till Saturday night. So we're going to arrive on Saturday, stay 8 days and fly out on Sunday. And we are going to do the races. I don't know exactly what date and time yet, but we are planning on doing races at Daytona Speedway. I don't know if I hope we're doing King of the Baggers at least one day. I'd like to see some hooligan racing. So that's, I've been told we can get some race tickets. So
you guys got to ride. You got to ride on the beach, man. You got to ride that beach.
So we need a beach cruiser.
Yep. The infamous beach ride.
Chase says, resist, Mike. Cruisers are like an all-inclusive with the closet for a room, and you can smell everyone else's farts. Cruisers. I think he means cruises.
Case, mind your own business.
Hey, Chase, if everybody can smell everyone else's farts, I'm not the guy that's going on the short end of the stick.
Bragger. Yeah, all I know, I've been on one cruise, and I'll tell you what, it's a all-you-can-eat buffet. Food out the ass.
So I was at a hog meeting tonight and saw the new live wires, and I believe those are the Del Mars that are starting to ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're more
and I
affordable.
just, they have one that's black and purple. I looked it up.
Nice.
Did you look up the price too?
Yep. I've already got off of it though. Because I didn't really want one.
You
We
know,
want to hear potato, don't we?
so you brought up the live wire, and so Cornbread and Pebbles want to know. They're curious to know your opinion of the shorted out live wire, the Harley Davidson Electric Motorcycle Initiative, the live wire. Now, I don't sit around here and like preach to her about stuff like that, so she's probably doesn't as knowledgeable maybe as some of us are on that subject. Do you know what the live wire is?
So opinion on the shorted out wire.
Right, which is his name for the live wire. So live wire is
So I'm on their website.
$23,000. Yeah, $23,000 live wire one.
Right, and it's electric.
Yes.
Right?
With a combined range of 146 miles in the city, 95 miles on the highway.
Yeah, for one, I'm not gonna go to electric because when I go places, I want to be able to go like when we go on rides. But I'm not much into those types of bikes, to be honest. I'm more for comfort, and that's definitely not going to have anywhere that I'm going to haul my shit that I need for when we go places and for the shit I buy while I'm there. I already run out of room. So I have no desire to get something that's electric.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my opinion.
Yeah. $15,000 for something that'll take you 113 miles at best.
Hey, the S2 Del Mar LE, the black and purple one I was telling you about, city range 113 miles, which that would be good for me for work, just driving back and forth to work because I don't even go 5 miles a day. But
right, you could carry your purse and stuff in a backpack.
And it goes 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. I might enjoy that a little bit.
Yeah,
might enjoy that a little bit, but for $17,000, no, I'm just going to get a bike that I can haul everything and do everything I want and go everywhere I want to go.
So basically, that S2 Del Mar LE that she's talking about, that's purple, electric, 17.7, and you can bet after surcharges and bullshit and everything, it's going to be 18 grand. It's going to be like what you paid for your Sport Glide. So pick that over a 2-year-old Sport Glide with 8,000 miles.
What else? What if they make a live wire that's electric wire, live wire that looks just like a street glide? Now, what do you think?
I still don't think I want to go electric. I mean, you've got, how often are you going to have to stop to charge it? I mean, yeah, you got to stop for gas, but you just pump your gas and you go. When we rode to Sturgis, that would have been a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to charge it all the time. So if it was an option where you could do gas or electric, like some of the cars are, but still with all this issues they have with electric vehicles right now, why would I want to invest that much money in something electric? Just like these people invest in electric cars and they're having all these problems and the replacement parts are outrageous.
I've been to Sturgis 5 of the last 7 years and I've never seen a live wire.
That's because they run out of electric before they get there.
Yeah, you'd want to haul it there.
You'd have to.
And I wouldn't like the setup anyways, because I don't like big controls. I don't like my knees bent like that. I like to have my legs stretched out. That's how I'm comfortable. So there's the only thing that turns me on about that bike is the purple and the paint on it.
All right, Cornbread, you asked for opinion. You got one. All right. Is anybody else got anything they would like to talk about? Throw it out in the chat. We've talked about the Indian stuff, what's coming out. We talked a little about Harley Davidson's third quarter. We've talked about the fact that I shaved my beard off and cut that off, so I think we've covered all the highlights. I do want to let people know I have not put out a new video in a couple of weeks. I'm working on some stuff. We've just been really focused on other priorities the last couple of weeks and stuff. So my apologies, but I do have a couple of things in the works. Steve, where did your light go?
Well, I know
are you playing with your light?
my monitors are dying.
Hey,
I'm
your
up
face
to
went
12,
all dark.
I'm up to 12 subscribers.
Oh, hey, yeah, we forgot to remind everybody that, Bagger Bader has his own YouTube channel now. You and 12 other people can be subscribed to him.
And just real quick, it's my channel, and it's usually going to be all shorts. I don't have any plans to make this anything like Mike, where it's a top tier channel type thing. It's just for me to have fun, and I might get a little bit crazier on it and show my true colors.
Darn, I wasn't subscribed, but I just did.
13.
Sparky's, I got your email and I got your photos of his bikes. So I want to know, is that you doing the motor cop maneuvers? I'm going to bet yes. So he sent me a picture. He's got his Scout Bobber on there. Looks like a Street Glide 107 engine, I think, and riding a police edition motorcycle, doing the police edition type maneuvers and stuff.
Makes me think of the Blues Brothers. Cop tires, cop seat, cop motor, cop. What a great movie.
Oh, Steve was on a website. That's why his monitor changed colors. We went to a dark, secluded alley.
We're going to have to wrap this up real quick, guys.
He's got a date with Rosie and her four sisters. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to say thank you, everybody, for coming out and joining us tonight. We, just quick live stream tonight talking about the Indian stuff, and appreciate everybody supporting the channel. There'll be more stuff coming. We're going to get into the Harley news and rumors and things a lot more in the next couple of months. Also, I got new tires, brakes, wheel bearings, and suspension for the Dyna.
Sweet.
So that'll be coming up in a video when I get all that put on there. And actually, I had a voicemail I didn't get to return today because it came in while I was in no man's land and couldn't get service. But I need to call Saddleman back about the seat order. Get that set up. So I think that's what that voicemail was.
Let's forget the name of the Saddleman seat. The one that's got it's got a really nice back to it. It's what everybody's
Step up.
Step up. Tell those guys, make a step up solo seat. And I'll buy one.
Okay. I'll tell Steve will buy one if you make one.
I pissed him off in Sturgis, man.
Well, and to be clear, thank you, Sparky's. Good luck with the new endeavor. It's not it would be more of a promotion. It's not changing companies or new employers or anything like that. It would just be more responsibilities and more pay and, more responsibility mainly. But it has to, I'm not taking on more responsibility without more pay. Let's just be honest. So if they want me to take on the more responsibility part, they got to give me more pay. But it would be a good thing for us financially as well. And it would be a step up in my career, so.
Just tell them, hey, Mama wants a sport glide.
Mama's got a sport glide.
Or,
Papa wants a
street glide.
CVO.
Mama wants a street glide.
Papa wants a CVO. She's got a newer bike than me, Steve. Leave her alone. Stay out of this.
It's his turn. It's his turn to get a bike.
Okay. Oh, teamwork.
I did buy 2 bikes this year, but it's still my turn because they were both used. And I sold bikes to pay for them. I sold 2 bikes this year, 2 used bikes, and bought 2 used bikes this year. So that really balances out. That's a net zero.
Yeah, well, that one bike's going to come back to me eventually.
Yeah, she wants me to fix the dyno up. I don't know if it'll come back to her, but she might ride it more. If
I'm going to ride it.
Good.
Here, I'm going to ride it. It's time to go, guys. You heard her. I got to sign off. She said she's going to ride it.
Sounds like it's time for both of us to sign off.
Oh, yeah. Chase did mention something earlier here, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that. Have we talked about Spring Fling with Sandoval support? I have not talked to Jeff or Adam since Spring Fling. I am going to be in Eureka Springs in about a month, so I may get more of an idea of what's going on there. As far as I know, Spring Fling and Flatheads is on, and I am going to have something, whether I have all the upgrades I want for it done or not, but I've already got something I can run down the dirt drags with. I got to do some fixing on it. It's got some things that need to be fixed, but if I drop it in the dirt, she's not going to kick my ass like she will with the bagger and the special fairing. Yeah, the hill climb dirtster isn't going to pay for itself. That's right. I figure between suspension, wheels, maybe converting to chain drive, bars, I'm looking at putting $3,000 in that bike. So if anybody wants to buy like a mint condition 2018 Honda Recon 4-wheeler, you let me know. I got one with mint condition. It's just about enough money if I sell it to pay for the Dirtster upgrades.
Bagger Baiter is Steve's channel name.
Yeah, we need to go find a link out there. Steve, you should have a link prepared to throw out there at any moment. Can you just get that tattooed on your forehead, Bagger Baiter?
I've got a tattoo on my shoulder, which is my logo for the channel.
There you go. Let's see if we can find Bagger Baiter.
Yeah, it's just for fun. I don't plan.
The Bagger Baiter or Bagger Beater?
It's a Bagger and then space Baiter.
I got you. I'm just teasing. Hey, you're up to 14, bro. That's like 30. That's like a 30% growth tonight.
God, I'm feeling pressured. Really, I got to up my game and make sure I get to about 59 seconds on every short.
You could just tell everybody it's youtube.com/@baggerbaiter.
There you go.
You haven't got that memorized yet?
No, I'm not smart like you, brother. You're the guru.
North by Southeast said thumbs up. Sparky's just asked what your channel was. I threw it out there. Salty says my Dirtster is going on the lift soon. Mine is going to go on a lift here. Probably going to be a couple weeks or a month still. I've got a friend who has some parts that we can do some swapping around on. So I think it's going on a trailer first, going to his house where we can swap parts from mine to his and stuff, and then mine will come home and go on the lift. Hey, Chase says, Steve, I've been subscribed for weeks. Where's the content?
Yeah, I do hope to get a little bit busier on it.
It's not like we're going into the busy signal, though.
No, and what I think I'll do is I got a really great group of guys that I ride with, and we have a lot of fun at these little biker bars around Kansas City. And so I might start doing some shorts when I'm riding around town.
Well, you probably ought to do a couple shorts, though, just also of like what you have in the garage.
Yeah.
Your little dirty. You should show everybody your dirty tail.
I did. In fact, I did make a dirty tail video, and it's my #1 video. It's my top producer. And I did fuck up on it, because I said November 30th instead of October 30th. I don't know if anybody caught that or not.
Is that the GG's done for 2023?
Yeah.
Hey.
And then
you
Nancy
got-
James right behind it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you a secret.
Yes, please.
You'll get more views if you put Harley Davidson Softail Slim in the title. Harley Davidson Softail Slim Dirty Tail. Is she a dirty tail? Something like that. Because only very few of us know who Gigi is.
Right. Well, what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to find interested female models that are willing to, show their ability to enhance my channel and expose people to everything that they have to offer so that my channel can grow off of there.
I didn't know Corey West was from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Yeah, Corey West is the one that on that Saddleman Hooligan bike that I showed you the picture of, Steve.
Guys, for anyone that hasn't looked at this Saddleman Hooligan bike, check it out. It's badass.
Did I have a picture of it to present last time?
I don't think so. No, because I had to look it up. And we talked earlier today about how we feel like that's a market that Harley could compete against Indian.
Hey, Chase, you haven't seen, you don't know, you have to ask. She's apparently not like showing it off enough. Firecracker. Where's it at?
I have two of them. And I've still got my
purple plaid jackets.
Yeah.
And they're both riding jackets with armor, Kevlar.
Yep. No,
Nice.
I take the armor out. I don't like the armor in there.
They're armored. They're designed to be armored.
But I just threw my hoodie on this morning or this afternoon because I still got my scrubs on. I wasn't changing clothes for this.
Well, you already have a built-in chest plate, right?
Yeah.
She's got airbags, safety bags.
Oh, mine are Beyond the Rider and what's my other jacket? Beyond the Rider and
Old Soul Moto, which is out of
Soul
Canada.
Moto.
So you'll pay probably a little more for shipping on it. But Beyond Riders is the one that she's been wearing in the purple. They gave it to us as a wedding present.
Yep.
And then I've got a white and black one that I've been wearing from Beyond Riders all year. And I really think the Beyond Riders is the best riding flannel I've tried yet. And I've tried 3 or 4.
And it's got the flag on the side.
It's got a flag patch on the side.
I actually didn't even notice that when I was just excited because I got another purple jacket.
It's got like eyeglass cleaning cloths built into the corner of it. It's got vents under the arms. Flaps are buttoned down so they don't come up. Pockets are big enough to put a phone in and close it, unless you have a jumbo phone, Max phone or something. So Sarah does the purple thing also.
I think Dixon just came out with a purple flannel.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to not spend money. I got too much to spend on Christmas. I'm trying to refrain from buying myself anything. I'm going to work with a hole in the toe of my shoe because I'm too cheap to go buy myself a new pair of tennis shoes.
It's so bad we're not buying each other anything for Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll buy for everybody else, and we'll take each other to Daytona Bike Week for Christmas / honeymoon / Valentine's Day /
No, you're not getting away. You are not getting away that far.
Shit. Damn. At least I tried.
All right, I'm getting off of here.
Dying Breed wants to have a moment of silence for my beard.
I'm going to get off
just hair.
here.
It'll grow back. You're getting off here.
Yes.
All right, so am I.
Have fun at that.
All right. Thank you guys all for joining us. I hope you've had a good time tonight. Enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not already. for Bagger Bader and Firecracker on Two Wheels. And we'll see you in 2 weeks when we do another live. And hopefully we'll have some more Harley stuff to talk about by then.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.